Last night in Dallas, Western Kentucky's Camden Ross delivered a 3-run homer that proved to be the difference in Game 1 against DBU. The Patriots now look to bounce back in Game 2 with a chance to even the series. It's a Saturday showdown in Conference USA, and it's coming your way next on ESPN+. Cool and windy at Horner Ballpark for Game 2 between 17th-ranked DBU and Western Kentucky. The Patriots' James Ellwanger takes the mound today as DBU tries to square the series at 1 apiece. And hello, everybody. Alongside Brendan Smith, I'm Reagan Ratcliffe. Patriots dropping a 1-run decision last night. They had plenty of chances in that ball game, stranded 10 runners on base. Really, the story is what Western Kentucky did on the mound, their bullpen.
Yeah, we talked about Camden Ross getting that home run to put them up 4-3 middle innings, and the Patriots were just never able to get going after that. And a lot of it had to do with what Lucas Hartman did on the mound. Came in some big moments, and then how about Cal Higgins? He gets a huge strikeout of Jake Bennett in the 8th, and then allows a leadoff double in the 9th inning to Michael DeTalo. Patriots have some big bats coming up, but with 1 out, Grant Jay strikes out on 3 pitches. Nathan Humphreys, the final batter, ends up flying out harmlessly to center field, and so the duo of Hartman and Higgins proved to be the difference as they take Game 1 here against the Patriots.
Well, DBU also got a strong effort from their bullpen last night, and Jared Jenkins really shined. For more on Jared and his outing, we welcome Alexis De La Garza into the broadcast.
Thanks, Reagan. Yeah, a big part of keeping the game so close last night was what Jared Jenkins did on the mound. He came in the 7th, took over from Micah Bucknam, and tossed 3 scoreless innings. And even though they didn't take the win last night, he came in and did exactly what they needed him to do to keep the Pats within scoring reach. I asked him about his mentality going into a 1-1 game, and he said he just pitched his pitch, focused on that 1% at a time, executing each one, and moving on to the next.
Western Kentucky goes for a series win today. DBU trying to send us to a rubber match tomorrow. Starting lineups and first pitch between the Patriots and Hilltoppers when we return to Dallas. Western Kentucky getting ready to come to bat as we get ready for Game 2 of this 3-game series. 56 degrees in Dallas this afternoon. Here is Western Kentucky's starting 9. We'll set the table with Carlos Vasquez in that leadoff spot. Thomas Marsala to hit second. Ryan Weidman leads the club with a .448 batting average. Then it's Lizama. Camden Ross had the big swing last night. The 3-run homer, only his 5th career home run in 102 games. But boy, was it a big one. Ciervo to hit 6th, and it's Hayes who's been red hot. Howard, and then Henry Brown at third base. And that starting 9 today, we'll get a look at the Patriots' James Ellwanger.
Yeah, the fire-throwing righty continues his ride here in the Saturday roll. Numbers on the season, 1-0, just a .357 ERA. Lots of strikeouts, 32 of them in just under 23 innings. Walked 14, a .177 batting average against. Coming off of a rough outing against New Mexico State. He'll try to put that back together today. It's a 4-pitch mix. That fastball can get up into the upper 90s. He's got a few different breaking balls that he's able to throw at you. And if he can command the zone, he's got a chance to be really successful. And he's going to be tasked with trying to even up this series against the Hilltoppers.
There's that defense behind James today. Grady in left, Humphreys in center, Underhill there at right. Dottie, Hefner, Graybeck, Kraus, third to first. Jay behind home plate. Ellwanger on the mound. Anytime James Ellwanger on the mound, there's a slew of scouts behind home plate. He is a draft-eligible sophomore, 19th round pick. The Nationals 23 came to DBU, so here is Vasquez, who will 56 degrees today, and you've got that strong wind. Look at the flags out there blowing in from center for that. Times it's to right field at 16 miles per hour. Today, the first pitch fastball at 98 there for strike 1. That's going to be the key today for Ellwanger, is to get ahead, something he struggled in doing last weekend at New Mexico State. His 0-1 curveball lash foul. Scott Vasquez down 0-2, the junior from Brazil, who comes in today 6th in Conference USA in hits. You look at the flags out beyond the wall in center today. That cold front blew in yesterday, a lot of rain. The 0-2 is in the air to right center field. Coming on, and that's down on a 2-strike pitch in front of Underhill. Hilltoppers got the leadoff man on, and Vasquez.
Now, we saw the offense for Western Kentucky put something together in the 3rd inning, and that was pretty much it. The Patriots got all of their runs in the 1st, and then these pitching staffs settled in. It's been 3 pretty good pitches, though, there from James Ellwanger. Fastball, curveball to get up 0-2, and then a breaking ball there that Vasquez got just enough to drop it out in front of Underhill in right field.
Thomas Marsala, one of just 2 left-handers in this lineup, and Ellwanger's dominated lefties. Only 2 for 30 off of James Ellwanger in his 7 starts this year, 22 and 2/3 innings. Only the 2 hits. Righties at 245. Look at Marsala's numbers. 364 average. That's 3rd highest on this Hilltoppers club. Junior transfer from Hines Community College in Mississippi. 0-1, bust him inside. Now at a ball and a strike. Mark Reardon just raves about his workmanlike approach. He calls him kind of the company man. Says that Marsala does whatever you ask him. Guy that catches bullpens. He's puts in work at first base and left field. He's in the DH role right now. There's that big hook from Ellwanger, down a ball and 2 strikes.
It's been a good pitch for him through the first 2. A lot of bite to that curveball. Now the overshift.
Trying to put him away at 1-2. There's the fastball at 98 as he runs it up and away and gets Marsala for his first strikeout of the day.
I like that sequence a lot from Ellwanger, getting ahead with the curveball at 1-2, and then that curveball had to be in the mind of Marsala. Instead, you get the fastball, and Marsala very late on the 98-mile-an-hour express.
It's Ryan Weidman, who was 1 for 4 last night. Comes in hitting .448. It's the 7th highest batting average in the country. Weidman, who came to Western Kentucky out of Georgia Highlands College. He was a first-team All-American last year. And the numbers have translated for him. A .414 average last year. Check swing on the slider. They appeal, said he didn't go. Juan Garza down the line at first. You got a 3-man crew here in Conference USA. Justin Duplessis behind home plate. Connor Hoagland's the crew chief as you look at Weidman's numbers. What's also translated, power, 6 home runs, 37 RBIs. That pitch just down. And he has got tremendous speed. He stole 48 bases last year, already 25 this season.
And you saw him display the speed in the outfield as well yesterday. He's got the tools for sure.
2-0 is buried. Fastball at 97. He's gone 3-0 to Weidman. There was a lot of protection in this order. Behind Weidman is Ethan Lozama. He's got big-time pop from the left. 3-0, Ellwanger trying to get something over. Down and in, he walked him on 4 pitches. Weidman walks for only the 10th time this year. So you got first and second. Ellwanger in a bit of a jam here in the first with 1 out for Lozama.
And once you got down 3-0, you didn't want to groove anything to Weidman. So ends up having a pretty non-competitive 4-pitch walk there. And now, as you mentioned, you got the lefty at Ellwanger has dominated this year. But a guy in Lozama that is not hitting to a double play this year, which is what would be ideal right now for Ellwanger.
And surprisingly, James has not induced a double play ball this season.
He's been a ground ball guy, too.
This would be the perfect time. He's gone 5 straight out of the zone. Lozama 1 hit yesterday. He also came up with one of the biggest plays in the outfield that gets a little bit maybe overlooked yesterday. So he threw out Cody Graybeck trying to get to third base, going first to third in the second. That's outside. It would have been first and second, 1 out, and who knows what happens. You got Poole coming up, then Jay.
Yeah, and probably a situation where Graybeck, looking back, says, I should have stopped at second, because it was a strong throw, but it wasn't an on-target throw, and Graybeck was still out by plenty.
7 in a row right now for Ellwanger that he's been out of the zone with. Well, command was an issue last week. 4 walks, 2 wild pitches, and an inning and a third. A 3-0 pitch. He lost him. That is back-to-back walks on 4 pitches. And it brings up Camden Ross, who was the hero last night hit the home run, just his second of the year and just the 5th of his career.
And an early visit here for the Patriots. Kel Johnson out of the dugout. James doesn't look super happy with himself. Yeah, he was all over the zone. The first 2 batters, he did give up the 2-strike base hit, the 0-2 base hit to Vasquez, but gets Marsala on the fastball. But with Weidman and Lizama, 4 pitches, or 8 pitches, and maybe 7 of them weren't close. So hopefully that Kel Johnson touch here, and James can find a way to wiggle out of it. But it's an offense that's swung it really well all season, and this is not the way that you want to start.
Yeah, team comes in today, .324 batting average, 8th highest in the country, averaging 8.5 runs per game. Here's Ross, junior, smashed the home run last night, and that broke him out of an 0 for 16 slide. His average was at .395 before climbing yesterday at .317. First pitch, Ellwanger spikes it. 9 consecutive here from Ellwanger out of the zone. The 1-0, in and out of the glove of Jay, and up the line at third was Vasquez. He gets back, so now at 1-1.
That could have been a disaster because Jay couldn't find the baseball. I was also worried that because it wasn't squeezed that James wasn't going to get that strike call, but he did.
A ball, a strike, 1 out to Ross, the number 5 hitter in this lineup. Down and away. And it's just fastball command right now for Ellwanger that has escaped him. His best pitch, really through his first 7 starts, has been that curveball. It's got true 12-6 bite, but for James to be successful, you feel like he's got to be able to land that fastball. Here he is in a fastball count at 2-1. He goes off speed. He hits that one on the corner. Well, that's at 92, and it had a little bite to it. Now at 2-2.
Almost looked more like a cutter than that normal slider that we see.
Deep breath from Ellwanger. Getting ready to throw pitch number 20. Ellwanger's 2-2. Chopped inside the line, and that could be extra base. He's going to score 2. Lizama's to third. Ross holds it first. They throw behind him. He's safe, and it's a 2-run single in a 2-strike situation. And the Hilltoppers are on top first here with a 2 spot in the first inning.
A team that already had a lot of confidence, and they come out and take advantage of the gifts that you give them. Ross hits it hard, ends up pounding it into the turf, but tucks it right in there down the first base line. Not an ideal start. The Patriots did get a 3-0 lead yesterday, and now it's Western Kentucky who gets the head start.
Oh, what a weekend for Ross. The homer yesterday, now the 2-run knock. It's fastball high, ball 1 to Ciervo. Well, after yesterday, and you see what Western Kentucky has in the bullpen, you knew coming in today that you need a big start from Ellwanger. This is not the team that you want to get into a slugfest with. As much as we talk about how good they are offensively, there's a swing and a miss by Ciervo. I think they may even be better in the back end of the bullpen. We saw it yesterday from what they flashed, particularly with Higgins and then with Hartman.
And still didn't put in who they, I guess, right now would consider their closer. We saw him up yesterday, but not yet. Did not see Evan Jones.
He gets Ciervo to 2 strikes. 2 hits in this first inning have come in 2-strike situations. Vasquez, he had him 0-2 to lead off the ball game. Ross at 2-2, the 2-run single. Now Ciervo trying to escape this inning with the 2 runs. Here's the pitch. In the air down that right field line. It's going to spray foul. Well, they have worked Ellwanger to the tune of 24 pitches in the first.
And they've almost been able to eliminate the fastball from one of the options that they're expecting there at the plate, too.
Up and in. Backs him off the plate, 2-2, and already you've got Zach Todd, I believe, who's run down to that Patriot bullpen. Not throwing yet, but starting to stretch out. Down and away, 3-2. Ciervo was 0 for 3. You take a look at Todd. He's been becoming one of your more reliable arms out of the bullpen over the last couple of weeks. Big lead over there at first base by Ross as James stepped off, trying to get some first and third action. Well, there's a ton of life in that Hilltoppers dugout, and rightfully so. Look at Ross just dancing and trying to draw Ellwinger's attention. 3-2 pitch. Strike 3. Right there, Ciervo watched it. That is a massive punch out for Ellwinger. There's 2 gone for Kyle Hayes.
Yeah, that has the trajectory of his slider, but it's coming in a little hotter than it normally does. That's at 92, but you can see the bend on the outside part of the plate. Big strikeout for James. Try to limit this damage.
Kyle Hayes in the number 7 spot is as hot a hitter in this lineup as there is. He's hitting .480 over the last 9 games. He's 12 for his last 25. And out of the glove, and that's going to get up the line. It's going to score a run. Oh, my, the way that just kicked out of Jay's glove, there was just no chance. And a great read by Lizama, and they get a gift of a run.
I don't even think that ball bounced. We may get another look at it here. Yeah. That didn't bounce. That'll be a pass ball. Yeah, it'll be the 7th of the season for Grant.
Boy, this has been the worst possible start that you could imagine. This will be the 30th pitch of the first inning and a 3 spot here for Western Kentucky. And they're going to wait to get ready to hand the baseball to Dawson Hall. Now, while Hall's not thrown a lot of innings, he's dealt with some arm injuries throughout his career. We're talking about a guy that's going to take the mound today to try to set the table, and he's got a 1.12 ERA. He's been dominant.
And I would guess that they're not going to treat him like a starter. You're going to come out and let's see if we can get you 3, maybe 4. And so he's going to have that reliever's mentality from the jump.
3 balls and a strike. You see James just shaking.
A couple of times. Yeah, he doesn't
Jay
like.
Nye steps off. Well, he knows what he wants and what's being called. He just doesn't have a feel for right now. Maybe a generous call right there for Duplessis on the inside corner, so he's gone full 3-2.
Looked like one that backed up on him, but he got the benefit of the corner there.
Ross will be off with the pitch. 3-2 to Hayes. Outside, another walk. 3 walks for Ellwinger. Boy, this has been a tough outing, and it really looks like what you saw last week in Las Cruces is carried over to the first inning here today. Zach Todd is throwing in that bullpen.
Yeah, 33 pitches now, the 3 walks. A pass ball that cost you a run. Not the mentality you wanted to see the Patriots come out with after a tough loss last night.
Reed Howard, the number 8 hitter. Maybe if there's a little room to breathe in this lineup, possibly at the bottom of the order. Well, Howard's hitting 280, Brown at 226 in the number 9 spot. Howard's just a freshman. This is a talented youngster here. Guy that grew up playing baseball in high school for his father, Jared, at Forest Park High School in Indiana. He hit 40 home runs in his 4-year high school career. They think this kid here is a star in the making.
And interesting because they brought in the big bats from the JUCO route. Now they've got a guy that they're going to continue to try and develop. For Howard, Freshman hitting towards the bottom of this order. He's played in almost 30 games this year. He's getting a lot of experience.
Ellwanger looking for the strikeout stuff here to get out of this. There it is, as he buried that pitch. Jay's got it, fires to first. That's the inning. But not before the Hilltoppers grab 3 runs in the first. They do it only 2 hits. Ellwanger walks 3. Pats will try to hit reset, get this offense going. They find themselves down 3, headed to the bottom of the first. Well, DBU down 3 as we go to the bottom of the first. Here's that Patriot lineup that's going to have to get on the comeback trail today. They'll start with Michael Detallo in the leadoff spot. You take a look at Tom Poole right there in the DH role. Got back in the lineup yesterday. Grant Jay in the number 3 spot. Leading home run hitter Nate Humphreys in the cleanup role. Chade Krause just keeps driving in runs. He leads the league with 41 yesterday. A couple of hits. Underhill back in right field. Grady's in left. Graybeck at second. And Luke Kiefner will wind up the order at shortstop. They're going to face a unique arm. That arm slot of Dawson Hall. Guys can be tough to pick up. Talented junior on the mound today.
Out of Bowling Green, Kentucky, he stands 6'1", 198 pounds, and he's making just his second start of the year. The numbers that he has put up have been mainly out of the bullpen, and they've been impressive. 4-0 with a 1.12 ERA, 16 innings on the mound. Just a 190 batting average against. 2-time he's been named all conference, but fastball, changeup, slider mix for Dawson Hall. Fastball will be in the low 90s. And again, just making that second start. He went 3 innings last week. That may kind of be the max for Dawson Hall, who has been staked to a 3-0 lead right out of the gates.
So Detallo will climb in, facing Hall. Dottie hitting at 310. He had the double last night. He was left stranded on second in the 9th inning. He was the game-tying run. Well, you had runner at second, nobody out. You felt like you were going to do it. At least get it into extra innings.
With Poole, Jay, and Humphreys coming up, you felt really good about it.
Hall, the 2-time all-conference selection, who's dealt with some injuries. This is grounded to third. Routine for Brown. Across, and there's 1 down.
Let's take a look at the defense behind Dawson Hall. Joe Ciervo in left, Ryan Weidman, Ethan Lama, the rest of the outfield. Henry Brown, Reed Howard on the left side. Carlos Vasquez, Kyle Hayes, and then Camden Ross once again behind the plate. His battery mate is Hall.
A guy on the mound here in Hall that's dealt with some growth plate issues in his right arm. He wasn't really able to extend his arm fully last year, and so dealt with injuries. Still had a 1.69 ERA in 7 starts. You see the bite on that pitch right there. He consistently gets ahead. He's already got pull 0-2. The 6th lowest ERA in program history for Hall, who had to battle through those injuries. That's probably a big reason why he's been first 8 appearances out of the bullpen. Now he's trying to stretch him out. 3 scoreless against Sam Houston last Sunday. Hometown kid who's just grown up around the program. His father, Dwayne's the strength and conditioning coach at Western Kentucky. Easy play. 2 gone, and the Patriots first. Take a look at the series history between these two, and it's been a relatively short history. But look how close it's been. DBU has won 6 out of the 10. You've got a series that's tied at 1 apiece. You know, last year, DBU was in the same position. They had won their first 7 weekend series to start the year. They go to Bowling Green, they drop 2 of 3. In fact, we're in danger of being swept on Sunday. They won their first 7 series this year and find themselves not only down a game, but down 3-0 in the bottom of the first.
And Dawson Hall has yet to throw a ball. Everything has been a strike, all 7 of his pitches. I think 8 might have been a strike, but it gets called the ball.
Grant Jay trying to spark a 2-out rally. Pat scored their runs yesterday in 2-out situations, and he hangs one over the middle. Jay up the middle. You know, yesterday it started with Jay getting a 2-out walk, and then Humphreys followed with a single. Krause had the 2-run double. So let's see if you can duplicate what you did yesterday.
Patriots trying to do now what Western Kentucky was able to do yesterday, just to get a run back immediately after giving 1 up. And then took the lead and never surrendered anything the rest of the way. Get your first base runner, that's a start.
Humphries, whose lone hit yesterday was that 2-out single in the first, takes on the corner for strike one. Works the count even at a ball and a strike. See the power from Humphries, 8 home runs, 32 driven in. Great speed as well. Yesterday, he moved into third all-time in stolen bases in program history. He is one away from tying Austin Crum for the second most. Austin played at DBU from 05 to 07. Humphries with 44 stolen bags in his career. Grounds it to third. Easy play for Brown. The throw on the money, and it's a scoreless first for DBU. They got the 2-out single from Jay, but nothing else. So we've played one in Dallas, and Western Kentucky's got an early 3-0 lead. Back in Dallas, where it's cool and windy today. It's going to get even colder tomorrow. I think they say in the high, maybe the low 40s tomorrow is a high, but it's going to unseasonably cold here in April.
Don't love it. I do not love it. Thought the jackets were done, but it'll be chilly again tomorrow too, and it's really changed the way this ballpark is played.
Yeah, Pats kind of prefer it warm and windy with the wind blowing out. It's blowing in today from center field. Always a great day though to be out there, that patio deck here at the ballpark. Patriots have done a whole lot of winning here at their home park, but their backs are against the wall right now, down 3-0. You've got Henry Brown, Carlos Vasquez, Thomas Marsala all coming up. To see James Ellwanger, who gave up 3 in the first. He walked 3, gave up 2 hits. Trying to find his stuff here in the second as he throws a strike one to Henry Brown. Brown was a late addition to the lineup yesterday. Austin Holler was scheduled to start at second. They scratched Holler and moved Brown to third and Vasquez to second. He's quickly got him down 0-2. Guy that grew up in Evansville, Indiana. He was at Indiana State the last 2 years. Indiana State club that went to the regionals both of those years. In fact, a super regional in 2023 for the Sycamores.
Should have hosted a super.
Yeah. Here's the 0-2. And that 2-strike pitch, they're going to get another hit. They do. All 3 of their hits have been in 2-strike situations, and it's the second straight inning that Ellwanger's gone 0-2 to the leadoff man, and he's found his way on with just kind of a bloop shot.
It was Vasquez in the first here, Henry Brown, and neither one hit him hard, but you hit it where it's effective. You could see Grady sort of trying to have a conversation with himself if he was going to try and get there, but ball that jammed Brown a little bit puts the leadoff man on and more traffic for James Ellwanger.
Carlos Vasquez back to the top of the order. He sees a fastball at the knees for a strike. It's been all but 2 games in the leadoff spot for the junior from Brazil. Had to sit out last year with an injury, but he's made up for that this year. He rips that foul. Only Ryan Weidman has a higher average than Vasquez at 373 on this team.
I was going to say, though, with Vasquez, if they have him last year, and you think about the hot start that Western Kentucky got into, they stumbled down the stretch, a big series sweep at the hands of La Tech, but things would have been a lot different, I think, if he was healthy.
0-2, nearly hit him, comes inside at 96. One and two here from Ellwanger. He's got a number of guys to 2 strikes, just not been able to put them away. And another wild pitch. Jay's going to throw to second. He's got to be careful. Well, you've had a pass ball. Now you've got a wild pitch. You've had 3 walks. Boy, it's been an ugly start today.
And James is actually, with the exception of Weidman and Lazama, who saw 8 straight balls, he's gotten everybody else to 2 strikes, but all of his outs have been on strikeouts, but he just can't truly get the put-away pitch.
He's 2-2 now to Vasquez, and he blows him away with high heat. That's been his out pitch. He struck out Marsala on that same type of pitch in the first. Here he gets Vasquez. He struck out 4, but got a runner at second now with 1 out.
Yeah, went fastball at 96. He's got a couple of strikeouts on the heater, couple on the breaking ball. It's what's happened in between those strikeouts that's been the problem.
It's Thomas Marsala. Grounds it just wide of first base. That one nearly stayed inside the back.
And that ball hit at 102 off the bat, and there really hasn't been a ton of hard contact that Ellwanger has given up. Those 3 walks are glaring. Obviously, the pass ball and the wild pitch as well, but it's a good team that's taking advantage of what you're giving them.
Marsala was a strikeout victim of Ellwanger in the first. He finds a little hole, and Henry Brown's going to have to stop at third. It's another soft single. It kind of has the feel of Middle Tennessee a couple of weeks ago. Theirs was a lot of infield singles, but not a lot that was squared up, and it's starting to have that kind of feel. That one kind of got in on the handle of the bat.
Yeah, the other way, and it went off the bat just at 70 miles an hour, and I would assume if you put the percentage-wise on a ball hit like that, it's a pretty low percentage that it's going to go for a base hit, but got a tough spot here. Runners in the corners for Weidman.
4 hits for this Western Kentucky lineup. Weidman on the corner, just outside. He didn't go. Weidman's so tough to double up with his speed. 1-0, stays high. He's gone 2-0. So Zach Todd was throwing in the top of the first. He's no longer throwing, although Grant Jay's coming out. That might be ordered from the dugout. Todd's got a jacket on now. He's starting to kind of shed that. You see Zach there.
There's been a couple of times where it almost felt like Grant and James weren't on the same page. Maybe Grant was almost guessing at times what was coming, so you've got to be able to find the strike zone here. You're in danger when you do that against Weidman of seeing some trouble happen, but he's seen 6 pitches, and really none of them have been close.
Well, he's worked himself into a difficult situation here. To 2-0 count to Weidman. Well, he didn't miss that one. A base knock into left field. Run scores in Brown. Marsala moves up. Hilltoppers extend that lead out to 4 as Weidman gets his 38th RBI of the year.
And there's the issue. You're concerned about coming in and throwing strikes, but when you get behind 2-0, you got someone like Weidman who can sit in one spot, and he got the fastball. Hardest hit ball of the day for Western Kentucky, and now a 4-0 lead.
Here's Ethan Lozama. He is hacking. Big swing and a foul ball. Lozama walked on 4 pitches in the first and came around to score on the 2-run single by Ross. Marsala there, big lead at second base. Weidman over at first. We can hear that wind. Here's a bouncer. Krause on a tough hop. They get 1 at second, back over. Dangerous throw. Krause on the bag, and they got him. Oh, that is an incredible dig at first base. Lozama's one to look at it, and I think they will. The Patriots will probably be called back onto the field, but that is a sensational grab over at first base. I didn't think they had a chance. Wasn't even going to have an opportunity to make that throw back over to first base, but they do.
Initially, I was thinking, oh, Chayton, just take that out at first, but yeah, he fires a strike, and then we'll see that return throw, and he may have beat it out, but that is a great play by Chayton, and boy, that's very close, and he may have gotten that right. That is just outstanding glove work all the way around by Chayton Krause, even if it doesn't stand. I guess they're not going to it.
They're not going to look at it. So the Hilltoppers do get a run. Big double play ball. See if that can turn it around. DBU's down 4-0 going to the bottom of the second. It'll be Krause, Underhill, and Grady all coming up. Here to see Dawson Hall, who worked quickly through the first inning. He only needed 13 pitches. And he's ahead of his 5th straight batter. Kraus 2 hits last night. Leads the league in RBIs with 41. Here he smokes that one, but Weidman was already playing in that direction, but he gets over his head. To the wall, so Kraus had the big defensive play to end the second. The top of the second, here he leads off the bottom half with a double. His 9th of the year.
You know, it's pretty similar spot where his double went yesterday, and you had Ryan Weidman, who nearly took away extra bases in the first. This ball hit really well by Kraus, and he loves going to right center. And you see where Weidman is initially playing. And the ball still is able to beat him to the wall.
It's Landon Underhill. Got him out in front of that one, strike one. So that's the 6th straight batter that Hall started with strike one.
That starts him with a changeup.
Underhill had an RBI single last night in the first inning on a play in which the runner scored as he's quickly behind 0-2. Kraus, who was at second base on a ground ball that was hit deep in the hole at second. Kraus just never broke stride. He came around to score on a close play at home. Underhill behind 0-2. He struck him out on 3 pitches. Boy, that is a nasty pitch that came down and in on Underhill. And a great response by Hall to get the punch out.
All 3 of those might have all 3 been changeups. 3 similar swings by Underhill. Dawson Hall just not fazed at all by that leadoff double.
It's Keaton Grady. Been swinging a hot bat since he was inserted in the starting lineup about a month ago. Watches outside for ball 1.
And when you're down, guys like Bennett and Narrett, you need the bottom of this order to come up big.
Hitless last night. He was 0 for 2. He also had a couple of walks. Hall kind of uncharacteristically falling behind at 2-0. Last 8 games for Grady, he's hitting .433. He's 13 for his last 30. Popped him up shallow left. Ciervo, who was already playing in, comes in. Now the shortstop. Well, that's going to drift in behind third base. Well, it looked like it was going to be in shallow left. Ends up being caught in foul territory just back a third. So there's 2 down. Cody Graybeck's coming up. This is last night. This is Kraus's double in the alleyway there. Just off the glove of Ryan Weidman. And here it is today. Almost the same spot.
Yeah, cheating over maybe a little bit more.
Yeah. Kraus can use all parts of the yard. Cody Graybeck. Routine grounder to Vasquez at second base. And Hall dances around the leadoff double by Kraus and gets out of the inning with the goose egg. So we're on our way to the third. Western Kentucky has got a commanding 4-0 lead.
Well, last night in Knoxville, Texas A&M on the road taking on the #1 ranked Tennessee Volunteers, and it was all Tennessee. A shutout win, 10-0. Andrew Fisher, he hit the home run yesterday, put the balls out 4-0. But they were able to cruise. The real story, though, is Liam Doyle and Dylan Lloyd. They combined to toss a 7-inning no-hitter in front of a record-setting crowd in Knoxville. Tennessee, they've thrown 2 no-hitters this season. Aggies now 14-15 overall. Tennessee still #1 in the country, 9-1 in SEC play. And the season's going in complete opposite directions for the Volunteers and the Aggies. Here it's 4-0. Western Kentucky got 3 in the first, 2 in the second, and Camden Ross will lead it off against James Ellwanger to start the third inning. Pitch number 53 for James already, as he is dealing with Camden Ross, who had a 2 RBI single back in the first, got the scoring started. The 3 runs that came in, 2 of them were earned, the unearned run on the pass ball. But for Camden Ross, he had the 3-run home run yesterday and the 2 RBI single today. For a guy that was 0 for his last 13 entering this weekend. As both these teams submitting the exact same lineup back-to-back days. As here comes the 1-2 to Ross. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. 5 hits already for the Hilltoppers. All 5 of those have been singles. There's a shot over Tyler Herbst, the first base coach. First 3 hits were with 2 strikes, and then you had the singles from Marsala and Weidman in succession there in the second. As Ellwanger desperately needing a 0 here. It's been an ugly start. Ross able to stay alive at that curveball.
They have been super impressive at 2-strike situations. Just don't give in at-bats. I think that's been one of the differences, at least up to this point in the series. Find a way to put the ball in play in 2-strike situations.
I believe 9 of 14 have been down to 2 strikes, as there's a ground ball to first, and Chayton has it go off his glove. So we saw him make a sensational play to end the top of the second. Here he's not able to squeeze this one. It's going to go down as a hit. It was hit at 100 miles an hour. Tough play for Chayton. We just get used to him vacuuming everything up over there at first base.
Yeah, I think that's the difference at 111. Just tell you how hard that ball's hit. You see how sure-handed Chayton is. You saw the play he made to get out of the second inning on both ends of a double play ball.
Ciervo showing bunt. And talking about 2 strikes, that's the 3rd straight inning that James has gotten the leadoff man to 2 strikes, and they've ended up with a single. So James has been really almost pitching exclusively with traffic on the bases. It's Joe Ciervo, who struck out on a slider his first time up. And he pops up the fastball, first base line. Going to be a tough play, and it's going to blow out of the ballpark. Wind really helping Western Kentucky there, and no play for Chayton. Counts at 0-2. And once that ball gets above the overhang here at Horner Ballpark, then that wind can start causing some problems, and you can see how hard it's blowing in from center field. Maybe consistently 10 to 15, but there's gusts that feel like it's more than that. Hasn't hurt Western Kentucky so far today. They've got the 4-0 lead. Ciervo got a man at first, nobody out. And another wild pitch. 2nd of the game, 6th of the season for James Ellwanger, and free base given and a man in scoring position here with nobody out.
It's going to be hard-pressed to beat a really good team like Western Kentucky when you've done this. The 2 wild pitches, a pass ball, walk 3. They've had some soft singles. I mean, they've really not barreled up James other than a couple of times up to this point.
1-2 just misses. The Patriots played extremely sloppy last Saturday. 11 walks. Committed an error. Somehow still won that ball game. That is not a recipe for success against Western Kentucky. Got away with it against New Mexico State. There's a swing and a miss on the breaking ball, and Ciervo is gone for the 2nd time today. So that is 5 strikeouts for Ellwanger. Despite the struggles, there's 1 away, and now he gets to the bottom 3rd of the order. And he is trying to do this against a team that is setting all sorts of records. Western Kentucky, best start in program history, 26-4. Got a chance to get to that first regional since the 2009 season. Kyle Hayes will take strike 1. It has just been a storybook season for the Hilltoppers. And trying to take what would be a statement series here today, Patriots got some work to do to try and even it up. Hayes able to hold up. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayes walked his first time up. One of 3 walks for James Ellwanger this afternoon. It's been a good season for Hayes here towards the bottom of the order. The senior fouls it off. Now at 1-2. Hit .241 last year. That average up over 100 points this season. He went off against Sam Houston the final 2 games of that series. 5 for 9, 3 doubles, a home run, and 3 RBIs on Saturday and Sunday against the Bearcats. Fastball not close. Hayes originally out of Kirkwood Community College. This is his 2nd year as a Hilltopper. He played at Kirkwood his freshman year with now a Patriot assistant coach in Alex Pendergast. 2-2 is hit well to left field. Keaton Grady giving chase, and he's going to have to play this one off the wall. Easily scoring from second is Camden Ross, and Kyle Hayes has got an RBI double. The onslaught continues here for Western Kentucky. They lead at 5-0 in the 3rd.
Oh, a lot to be excited about in that dugout. I mean, you go back to the wild pitch, it puts a runner at second base, and then Hayes gets one. Now, whether, you know, if Ross is at first, maybe he doesn't score. But because of the wild pitch being at second base, he can walk in. Just another great piece of hitting. 2-strike situation.
That's not a bad pitch with 2 strikes.
Not at all. He just goes down and gets it.
So the lead has been extended by the Hilltoppers. They've scored in every frame thus far. Now it's Reed Howard. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. So Hayes picks up his 9th double of the season. It's his 20th RBI. And Reed Howard takes on the outside corner, 1-1. You know, Howard hitting at .277. He has the 5 home runs. That's second on the team behind Ryan Weidman and Ethan Lizama, who both hit 6. Up and in, and that one kicks off the glove of Grant J. Runners going to third. They've got to play, but the ball will be thrown to the third base side of that bag, and I think another pass ball there, maybe. We'll see. Well, it has not been pretty, has it?
Yeah, it's got to be. That's really up and in.
Yeah.
Right there. You would think that'd be a wild one on James.
It is officially a wild pitch. So man now at third base and a ground ball to third, and Datala's going to get the runner hung up. To the plate, tag is applied. Runner's going to second. They have that runner hung up. It might be an awkward double play, and it is. I hope you're not scoring that, because at the moment I have no idea, but it is a double play. However, this one may be looked at by this umpiring crew, as Mark Reardon's already come out and he wants to talk to our crew chief.
I think he's asking which one do you want to see.
Yeah, and Connor Hoagland.
You asking about the play at home, or you asking about the play at first? I think he's pointing towards, we don't have our camera right here, but Hoagland is pointing towards home plate. They're looking at, I think they're going to look at this play at first base.
Yeah, they're bringing the first base umpire, Juan Garzon, so it must be the play at first. So, yeah, ground ball to third. Get the runner in the rundown. It's Kyle Hayes who was thrown out, and then I'm not sure what Reed Howard was doing. He thought he was just going to stroll into second. Ooh. Boy, that one was close.
That's close to what I thought. You're hoping that Jay got that tag now, which I think Reardon has to, if he has to clarify which play they're wanting to look at, you're not going to be able to see that. The camera's not down enough to get that shot, so maybe you get it from a different angle. But
I didn't think that it was close at first, and now that I didn't think so at home either, but then after you see that replay, you hold your breath a little bit.
Yeah, you do. I mean, fortunately, the call on the field is out for DBU. But that angle that you just saw there from behind, you just wonder if he got that tag down.
But I think they may only be looking at the play at first.
Yeah.
And you can't tell where the The hand is put down. You can at least read Tyler Herp's body language. I don't know if he was looking over immediately. It didn't look like he thought there was a mistake made. And here you just can't see the bag. We do have confirmation. They're looking at both.
The one at home is the one you've got to be concerned about. This one here, you're not going to have enough to be able to overturn this.
Yeah. That left hand may have snuck in there. You can't. Glove is officially down.
Yeah, we've only seen one at home. That's the one that if there's going to be something overturned, it's going to be at home.
We can. Here's another look at that play at the plate. Here we go. Yeah, I think maybe just on the backside. You saw immediately Hayes getting up and saying he would say, "What an odd play."
Yeah, it is. Well, you need something like this to go your way. That's a heads-up play by Ditalo. It's where it started there at third base and get him in the rundown.
Here come the umpires. Out at home. And that might have been all they were looking at. Out at first for sure, but it is a double play to end the inning. So a run does come in for Western Kentucky, but the Patriots able to get out of it with no more harm done. It's a 5-0 deficit. Bats have got to wake up. Well, a wild way to end the top of the third as a double play that I believe goes down 5-2, 3-4-3. Might be 6-3 depending on who threw that ball back, but very strange double play. As here in the bottom of the third. Here's earlier today, however, as we're celebrating the 1975 Dallas Baptist College baseball team. That's Bob Smith, who threw out the first pitch. He threw it to Jack Daniel, his teammate, who was catching behind the plate. Great to see a whole bunch of that crew celebrating 40 years as they are here with their teammates and their families watching some DBU baseball and seeing the Patriots down 5-0 right now. As Luke Hefner leads things off here against Dawson Hall. I might have said 40, it's 50 years. I was a communications major, not a math major. Generally, if it's done by tens, I'm okay, but yeah, that one there I missed. There's a swing and a high fly ball to right field off the bat of Luke Hefner. Not today. Ethan Lazama looks like he has a little bit of trouble with it. He reaches up and makes the catch, but we show you that because we have got Bob Smith himself here and ready to talk to Alexis De La Garza. Let's send it to Alexa, who's with Bob Smith.
Thanks, Brendan. Yeah, I'm here with Bob Smith and a few of his teammates that played for the 1975 squad, and it's their 50th anniversary. How special is it for y'all just to be back here with all y'all's teammates?
Go ahead. Well, it's really great because, the foundation we laid, it's great to see that the tradition has continued in the winning ways.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I said to see the way things are now versus us, we didn't have anything, and everything we had was dirt and rock pretty much when we were playing. So it's really a blessing to see the way everything has progressed now with Coach Hefner and the team here in the university.
I agree with what they said. We've had so little to work with when we were here, and to see where it was and where it's come to today, it's just been a thrill. And every time you come out here, you're just in awe of everything. And just to have had a small part means so much.
And back during y'all's days, y'all competed in the NAIA and beat teams like Baylor, Tech, and Texas. What memories do y'all have from those years?
Well, those are all good memories. We always remember those because we were that little NAIA school playing against the big boys, and we came out pretty good in our overall record against them. We all had a good time and used to have a lot of fun talking about those old memories, beating those teams that had the big names.
Yeah, my freshman year, we played Pan American. They was rated #1 Division I school, and we swept them in a doublehead.
Yeah, well, we also went up to Oklahoma. We played TCU, and we stood toe-to-toe with those guys. And even though we didn't have the resources they did, we always played them tough and won a lot of those games.
That's awesome. Well, y'all laid the foundation for us, and I think everyone wants to see y'all's jerseys. Can y'all turn around for us? Wow, look at that. Well, thank y'all for your time, and y'all made this happen. So back to y'all in the booth.
All right, thanks, Alexis. That's Bob, Steve, and Jack. Appreciate them being here to celebrate their time at DBU, but also to celebrate this year's iteration, as there's a C&I single from Tom Poole as man on with 2 away. Yeah, great to see the support the Patriots have from those past alumni and from those teams, the NAIA teams that really laid the foundation. It's a lot of fun to see them coming together with this iteration.
Yeah, it's really where it all starts. You look at the facility now, you see the banners on the wall, but it goes back to those days. It's guys like what you just saw right there from the 75 Club and teams earlier than that with some great history. But you really, Patriot baseball owes that group there a debt of gratitude.
They love telling us how this field used to be facing the other way. The 0-1, Jay hits it in the air to right field. Pretty well struck, but Ethan Lizama is there, and that'll end the inning. So 3 shutout here for Dawson Hall. It's 5-0. Here is that team picture 50 years ago. Dallas Baptist College from 1975. They are here, and they are celebrating at Horner Ballpark. Gonna look for some runs. Patriots down 5-0. We're going to the 4th.
Patriots find themselves down 5-0 as we go to the top of the 4th. Some long faces right now out there on the berm. The Pats down by 5. Pitching change here for DBU. James Ellwanger, his day complete. James goes 3 innings today, gives up the 5 runs. The command was the issue again this afternoon with the walks. He walked 3 wild pitches, struck out 5, 73 pitches. Now you're looking to Liam Watt to try to settle things down here in the 4th.
This is the 10th appearance on the season for the lefty out of Burlington, Ontario, Canada. Starting to find his footing. 11 1/3 innings, 8 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 4.76 ERA. And we saw him at maybe his best on Tuesday. He went an inning in relief out of the bullpen against the Mavericks. No runs through just 13 pitches. And over the last 5, he has settled in. He's gone 7 2/3, allowed just 2 runs, struck out 7. So his job is going to be really similar to what Jared Jenkins did in the 7th, 8th, and 9th yesterday. Keep it where it's at 5-0. Already a huge mountain to climb. The offense hasn't shown up today either, and this will help. 1 pitch and a ground ball to 3rd, and 1 away as Henry Brown is gone. And so for the 3rd time, Carlos Vasquez will come to the plate, top of the order for Western Kentucky. And it's Vasquez who singled to start the game, then struck out on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. The Brazilian redshirt junior. Shows bunt, and this pitch just misses outside. Ball 1 from Liam Watt. Now, those 2 runs that Liam given up over the last 5, it came in long relief against New Mexico State. So even then, it was an effective appearance for Liam. First year at DBU out of LSU Eunice. And he's ahead at 1-2. Watt, 6'1", 187 pounds. Rocking his way back and forth as he waits for Vasquez to get in. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Got a lefty and Thomas Marsala on deck, one of 2 lefties. Watt has only allowed 2 base hits against lefties this year. There's a swing and a miss. Vasquez chasing on a pitch down. Off speed from Liam Watt, quickly 2 away.
He's a different look from the left side. That one just fades down and in. 4-pitch mix right there, 82, maybe with the changeup down and into Vasquez.
So the left-hander steps in, and Marsala, who's 1 for 2, he puts the bat in the zone as well before pulling it back. Strikeout in the 1st, single in the 2nd for Marsala. And again, this one just misses. He's been all around the zone, but has not gotten the call here from Justin Duplessis. Liam does not waste any time. He is staring down the barrel. There's a strike. At 87 miles an hour, it's now 2-1. And yeah, from the left side, he can be really effective at that pace. 86 to 90. And a ground ball into the shift. That is fielded by Cody Grayback. Goes to first, and the inning's over in a 1-2-3 inning for the first time today, as Liam Watt gets all three that he faces out of the bullpen. We're going to the bottom of the fourth. Patriots down 5-0. Number 17, DBU down 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the fourth. Let's take a look around the rest of the country. Some good series that are going across the nation. And boy, Southern Miss is able to come back and win the series against Marshall. They lost yesterday, 4-3 last night, but Southern Miss able to take that series. LSU and Oklahoma, that's the final game of that series. LSU dominating yesterday, a 10-2 win. Georgia and Texas, with Texas taking game one yesterday, and Texas A&M trying to even up that series after getting no hit in Tennessee last night.
Need something good to happen in a bad way. That would be a big one today. You go on the road and win in Knoxville against the top-ranked balls. They've got some work to do. It's been a tough first half for Michael Early. Aggies under 500 coming in today.
Here's Nathan Humphreys to lead things off against Dawson Hall, and he will fire strike one, and that has been something he's done with regularity today. He has thrown just 34 pitches. His 35th is hit foul down the left field line. And as they continue to stretch him out, you put him in a rotation of what you saw yesterday. Jack Bennett, Drew Whalen has had a phenomenal year. You'll see him tomorrow. That is a scary proposition for teams across the conference. Good take low as Hall tries to get Humphreys to go after the changeup. Hump grounded out to third base to end the first inning. Nearly takes one on the right hip. It's a 5-game hit streak for Nathan Humphreys. Went 1 for 4, a walk and a stolen base last night. And he hits this one on the nose to center field. Ryan Weidman's going to have a play. Nearly overran it as he jumps up. Boy, the Patriots are squaring up some baseballs, but they've got nothing to show for it. There's one away to start the fourth.
Yeah, you're right. It was pretty quiet through the first 2 innings, but you're starting to find some barrels here. You go back to the third as you watch that leaping catch by Weidman, who covers so much ground in center field. He is elite, just like Nate Humphreys is. But you know, Donnie hit one hard in the third. So did Grant J. Nathan Humphreys right here. You wonder how long Dawson Hall is going to go today. Not a guy that has been really lengthened out. He only threw the 3 innings against Sam Houston. He's dealt with some arm injuries. He's been solid day through 4. Nobody throwing in that bullpen right now.
Here's Chayton Krause down at 0-2. Chayton now a hit in 20 of his last 21 ball games. Only without a hit in that stretch against Abilene Christian. And he got him on 3 pitches. Boy, Dawson Hall is making it look easy right now. Got him on the change.
Well, the key for him is, it sounds simple, first pitch, strike one. And he's just been consistently ahead. You look at today and the, 15 batters he's faced, he's thrown first pitch, strike one to 14 of them. That's a recipe for success.
There's another. Landon Underhill taking strike one.
I mean, just constant count leverage, and it opens up his arsenal. It always puts you on the defensive as a hitter.
Tapper up the middle, and it could be another easy inning. Dawson Hall cruising. Patriots go quietly. They go 1-2-3 in the fourth. Go into the fifth. It has been all Western Kentucky here in game 2.
Back to Horner Ballpark here on this Saturday afternoon. Gray and cloudy, and Pats down 5-0 to Western Kentucky as we head to the fifth. I want to remind you, Patriot fans, you have a chance to play a role in the success of one of the nation's top programs by joining the club. You can partner with DBU and show your support, helping to give to scholarship, NIL, Patriot baseball facility projects. You can click on the screen or go to patriotathletic.com. to give today and invest in champions. Well, you're 4 innings into this one, and it's been all Western Kentucky. Yesterday was a great baseball game. You ended up on the wrong end of it. It was a 4-3 game, but it's just a great game all the way around. Today, you've got to put yourself in a bad spot. Western Kentucky's taken advantage. They've done a great job of two-strike hitting. And Dawson Hall has been on cruise control.
Yeah, and the offense has taken advantage of what you've given him, and he hasn't needed much. Speaking of Dawson Hall.
Boy, Ryan Weidman plugs the gap into right center field. He'll cruise into second with a double. Boy, there's some guys that can really swing it in this Hilltoppers lineup. Weidman is the top of that cast, and he gets the leadoff double. That is his 13th double of the year. Here's Ethan Lozama.
And he's been all over the bases now. All 3 times he's been on at the RBI single in the second, and first pitch, got a fastball up. The only thought was he's got so much speed, is he going to be able to get to third?
It's Lozama, senior from Guam, who's walked and hit into a double play. Here he bunts it foul. .357 hitter right here, but a guy that's a cleanup man, and you saw what he did right there. Tried to drag bunt his way on, at least push that runner to third base. That is always, I think, going to be a part of the DNA of Mark Reardon, but really they've transformed this club. This is, he shows bunt again, comes inside, ball and a strike. Mark Reardon says that they had to change. When they looked at the roster and they looked at how this league, the teams, the success of the teams in this league, the ballparks, and they have revamped this roster. And it really reminds you, as you look at the guys like Ryan Weidman, who's there at second base, Lozama at the plate, he smokes that into right field. Here comes Weidman. They're going to wave him around. Underhill's throw, cut. RBI single for Lozama. And the Hilltoppers have gone up by 6 now in the 5th. But does this roster, this lineup, and as Mark Reardon talks about culture and what they're trying to build, you look at it and it really reflects DBU, and he speaks a lot of high praise for Dan Hefner, but the physicality of this team is what is reminded you of DBU baseball all through the years.
Yeah, and Reardon looks, he specifically singled out DBU and Louisiana Tech when he said how those teams are built, how they play, how they've had success. And yeah, they've definitely brought in some arms that can, or some bats that can make a big difference, and some arms for that matter, and kind of just toying with the Patriots right now.
Stolen base, Lozama, his 6th. Yeah, they hit for average, for power, they run. And I think another strength of DBU, at least through the years, think about some of the great Patriot teams. That ball's torched up the middle, base hit. Camden Ross, my goodness, what a weekend he's having. 3 for 3 today, he had the home run yesterday. And as much as we talk about how solid this team is offensively, the teams of the past have to lead. It was big on the bull, and that's what it reminds me of when Captain's particularly out of the pen.
Well, when you've got 3 or 4 options in that bullpen, and it seems like that's what Western Kentucky has. So with an offense like this, coupled with the starting pitching you've gotten, and then the bullpen that you feel like you have, it's kind of hitting on every single area you need to hit on to have a successful team.
Joe Ciervo's 0 for 2, a couple of strikeouts today. Watt came out and looked particularly sharp in the 4th, but it's just come undone here in the 5th. You got to be careful. It's 7-0 in the 5th inning. 10-run is always effective. This getting from you.
And unfortunately, it sort of feels like you didn't show up as Western Kentucky got here. And, one thing, too, that Coach Reardon, as Cale Johnson comes out of the dugout, he says in years past, we'd get down maybe 3 runs early, and you'd see the team sort of just quit and think it's over. And their credit yesterday, Patriots put 3 on the board in the 1st. They immediately come back to get a run, take the 4-3 lead, and, the energy never wavered in that dugout. And now you got the Patriots that are just searching for anything right now.
It's Ashton Branson, who's beginning to throw.
And when Western Kentucky put their 3 on the board in the first, the Patriots just, they really haven't done anything to threaten since then.
It's interesting right here. Mark Reardon's time. Kyle Hayes and Ross. And you want to break up the momentum you got right here. I mean, right now things are rolling for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, I feel like it's been rolling all day, so I'm not sure this will have a whole lot to do with it.
Let's take a look at the standings. Conference USA, as you get into this third weekend in league play, you see Western Kentucky, La Tech, gotten up at least a game on Jack State, DBU, FIU, New Mexico State. You very well could have dropped that series at New Mexico State. And today you find yourself in a position where if you fell here, you're 4-4. I mean, this is, I think, a much improved conference from what you had last year. Teams like New Mexico State are on the rise. FIU's gotten better. Obviously, Western Kentucky has.
Yeah, La Tech, you can't forget them as well. Liberty, even though they're at the bottom of that schedule, they've had a really good year.
After the conversation, pitch low to Hayes. Hayes doubled last time up. Average up to 354 for Hayes. The bottom fell out of that pitch. Number 7 hitter batting 354. It tells you how deep this lineup is. This will get out. In this Patriot line, we're talking about a number 7 hitter like Hayes at 354 and his numbers. DBU right now, I'm not saying it's a difference in the series, but how bad do they miss a bat like Jake Bennett in the number 7 spot? Tom Hull's not been healthy. You got Joey Narrett out of the lineup right now. Western Kentucky's clearly shown, at least up to this point, that they've been the better team, but those are 2 bats that will make a difference in your lineup.
A huge difference. It stretches the lineup so much. You know, and that depth that you're talking about, you felt like 1 through 7 at any moment could leave the yard. And just lots of pop, lots of power. Definitely a different feel without those 2 in the lineup.
This has been the kind of at-bats you've seen today from the Hilltoppers.
And even if those guys are in the lineup, it's not making a 7-run difference, you wouldn't think, but it's just the type of competitive at-bats that you've seen from Western Kentucky that have been absent today for DBU. And a lot of credit goes to what Dawson Hall has done on the mound.
3-2.
Just not chasing.
They have been able to squeeze that zone. They're looking for one spot, you feel like. Another 2-strike situation. 3-2. Here it comes. Into left field on a line. Grady. It'll make that play before it died, as that's close play back at the bag at second. First out here of the 5th.
I thought that one was going to knuckle a little bit on Keaton Grady and it was going to hit the ground. And it ended up being a pretty close play at second base. So finally get the first out. A little bit out in front there was Hayes, but that was a bit scary for a moment as well. See how close that play ended up getting there at second base.
That wind was really picked up in the last 30 or 40 minutes. Just straight in from center. At times to right. If you're going to have a chance to get one out today, maybe it's to right field. You almost have to start it to right center. It'll just blow towards the pole.
Yeah, you hit it down the line right at the pole. There's no chance it stays fair.
Howard now to ball and a strike. Howard was involved in that crazy play back in the 3rd when he hit into a fielder's choice. Kyle Hayes was thrown at home, and then Howard, as he got around first base, was doubled off the bag. And a heady play by Graybeck, the second baseman. Reed Howard, a guy that's been in this starting lineup as a true freshman since the end of February. He's got Ross there at second, Sierravo at first. One out, looking for a double play ball. Ripped foul. Watt's been more of a ground ball pitcher. 16 ground outs to 10 fly ball outs on balls put in play. Toppers have scored in every inning except for the fourth. All started with a 3-run first. This off the end of the bat. Humphreys into the alleyways, got it. Ross tags. They'll be on the corners with 2 out.
Gave up 4 straight hits to start the inning, but then a couple of flyouts to try and limit the damage to 2, but still a couple of balls hit pretty decently by this Western Kentucky offense.
There's Henry Brown. You wonder, kind of go back to that offensive timeout that Mark Reardon called, and obviously he saw something and wanted to discuss something, but this team was in a groove. You look at Ryan Weidman, first pitch double. Lizama early in the count, 1-1, he rips an RBI single. Ross, just the second pitch he saw, single. Ciervo, second pitch, single. And that's where you had that timeout. It is interesting. So swing and a miss, he changed him up.
Yeah, there's really no way to prove it one way or the other, because Cale Johnson was coming out to talk to Liam Watt anyways. But they're not out of it yet if you're the Patriots.
Number 9 hitter in Brown. 7th batter of this inning. It's a Patriots team coming in this weekend that had the 10th highest win percentage at home as the runner goes. They got a chance to get him right here. Jay threw a dart and gets Ciervo, who was a perfect 6 for 6 on the season before that, caught stealing. But it's another 2 spot for the Hilltoppers. They do it on 4 hits. We are going to the bottom of the 5th. Right, Jay guns him down. See if the offense can get going. They're down 7 as we go to the home half of the 5th. Mid-game recap here from Horner Ballpark. Game 2, Hilltoppers try to win themselves a series. They're up 7-0, and here is how we've gotten here. This point started early. This one down the line. A double, or rather from Ross there, it was a single, brought in 2 runs, made it 2-0. James Ellwinger struggling today through his 3 innings of work. This one down the line, brings in another run, and into right field. It has been all Hilltoppers. A 7-0 lead. And 11 hits today from Western Kentucky. It's been dominance through the first 4.5 innings.
Yeah, it has, and that doesn't even mention what Dawson Hall has done on the mound. It's a season high for him in 4 innings. He's only thrown 43 pitches. 3 base runners is all he's allowed.
Keaton Grady takes strike 1. And it's phenomenal what he's doing.
Still only 1 time that he has not started with strike 1.
That is 15 of the 16 batters he's faced, he's gone strike 1 to. And then you look at the strikeout numbers, you would say, well, this guy must be mowing guys down. He's got 2 strikeouts. I mean, he has pitched to contact, case in point. Although it's bobbled here, and Vasquez not able to get that throw off, and so Grady, here he does, but would have been not in time. The Pats got the leadoff man on. It's the 2nd time today they've had the leadoff man on. They had Krause that double in the 2nd. This will get the Pat offense going.
Would have been a tough play with the speed of Grady. That does go down as an infield single. Vasquez with the slide just ended up with the ball in an awkward position.
It's Graybeck now. Strike 1 on the inner half. Down 7 here on the bottom of the 5th. We've seen some tremendous comebacks in Patriot history. They've still got time to do it, but they're going to have to do it against Hall and then some big-time arms from this Western Kentucky bullpen.
Yeah, the pen just now starting to move as Hall getting close to 50 pitches. 52 is his season high, but that was in 3 innings. He is cruising.
Ball and a strike. To tell you how strong this bullpen is, got 5 guys in the bullpen that have 9 or more appearances that have an ERA that's south of 2.5.
That'll play.
Bunted out in front. This is not going to be easy. The throw from Ross, not in time. Graybeck beat it out by maybe a half a step. Boy, is Cody a weapon when it comes to playing some small ball? Boy, that is an outstanding job. And now the Pats got first and second.
Yeah.
Nobody out.
Up 2-1, and Hall has not gone to 3 balls on anybody yet, so Graybeck thought he was going to get a good one to bunt, and just able to beat it out. Not the strongest bunt, but put it where it needed to be to get the base hit and get the first couple of runners on base.
Luke Kiefner. Swing and a miss. Luke flied to right, back in the third. He hits that one just off the end of the bat. Lizama will make that grab. It'll keep Grady glued at second.
Oh, and Hall is just living with that changeup in the bottom of the zone. And that's what he got Luke there to swing and get way out in front of, but that has been such a tough pitch for this offense to pick up and make an adjustment to.
It's Michael DiTalo, 0 for 2, grounded to third, line to right. Closing on 200 hits in his college career that started back at Northwestern State as a freshman 2 years ago. He's 2 hits shy of 200. He's also reached safety in 19 consecutive, trying to extend that streak today. There it is again.
He's almost just completely abandoned his fastball.
It's usually the crafty lefty that gives this lineup fits. But boy, a good changeup will beat you. This is shallow to right. Lizama towards the line. That carried on him. Makes that catch. Get the runner to third base and Grady, but now all of a sudden 2 out.
And even going back to yesterday, outside of that first inning, anytime the Patriots would get something where you got a little bit excited at the beginning of the inning, this pitching staff would get a couple of quick, productive outs, and then you would be sitting there waiting for a big 2-out hit that unfortunately didn't really come yesterday. So Dawson Hall, first time he has really been in some sort of a pickle with 2 on, nobody out, and could still quickly get out of this.
Poole has 1 of the 5 hits today for DBU. Single back up the middle on a 2-strike pitch. He gets ahead here at Tom. Rounded to Vasquez, and Hall, who gave up a couple of hits to begin the inning, still throwing up zeros. He comes back, gets the next 3. He has only thrown, well, just a little north over 50 pitches today. What an outing. 7-0. Hilltoppers headed to the 6th. Game 2 of this 3-game series here on this kind of gloomy Saturday. It's all Hilltoppers. 7-0 is the score. Coming up for Western Kentucky will be 9-1-2, starting with Henry Brown. Just looking at the numbers for Dawson Hall today, 57 pitches, which is pretty remarkable through 5 innings. He's averaging, what about 12 pitches an inning? He's thrown 46 strikes today.
11 pitches out of the strike zone.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, 2 of the hits that he's given up, infield variety, and both of them there in that 5th inning. He has been in control.
It's Liam Watt on the mound. Compare that to, you look at Ellwanger and Watt today. That's the 107th pitch. Almost twice as many pitches. And they've landed just a little over half of those in the zone. There's been a huge difference today in what you've seen on the mound.
Yeah, and it's not all just, obviously just throw strikes and you're going to be fine, because that's not the case. But with Hall, he's got a couple of different pitches he can throw for strikes, and once he consistently does get ahead, he's got you guessing. you never feel like you're in a spot where you know what's coming against him.
Watts 1-2 here to Brown. Two-strike pitch from Watt. Struck him out. Good pitch right there from Liam. And down off the plate. Good sink to Brown. It's the first out.
And get back to the top of this order, and it really started in the first, and you felt like Western Kentucky had sort of made the probably correct assumption that, hey, we're not going to get a fastball over the plate, as James Ellinger was really struggling to do that. So they were almost able to eliminate a pitch and started hitting the breaking balls all over the yard.
Vasquez with a good bunt. Watt throws close. Safe is the call. Vasquez legs out that bunt. He's got a 2-hit day today.
And surprise bunt. Detallo back. He didn't have a chance, so Watt was the only one to do it. You can see Detallo coming sprinting in. Watt was the only one that had a chance.
Mark Reardon has come out of the dugout. You see Vasquez at first base after that bunt single. They may be making a change here. Drew Barragon in for Thomas Marsala. So Drew Barragan at the plate. A .314 hitter off the bench. Guy that was an NAI All-American in Embry-Riddle Aeronautical. Throw over to check Vasquez.
So interesting with how well Thomas Marsala has swung it this year. You got a lefty on the mound. They're playing matchup in a 7-0 game. So not satisfied here with that 7-0 lead. Oh.
Ball one, says Justin Duplessis. Barragan tries to find a hole, and he does. And a base hit, first and second now with one out. That's a luxury to have a guy off the bench hitting at .351. His average has been above 300 since March 8th. Hilltoppers putting more pressure on you, first and second with one out. Here come the big bats, starting with Ryan Weidman.
So the matchup game works. And you get Weidman on with 2 on, 1 out.
Weidman doubled his last time up. 2 hits today. He's been on base 3 times.
He tried the surprise punt.
You weren't expecting that. Not from a guy that came in today hitting .448. I think Mark Reardon just likes to keep that in the back of teams' minds.
Oh, without a doubt.
We'll still do that, even with a guy like Weidman. That's low.
Just every inning's been just a struggle, a slog to get through outside of that 4th inning where you went 1, 2, 3. It's just from the top of the inning to the bottom, it's just 2 completely different types of hittings.
Look at that. Weidman pokes it into left field. Here comes the throw from Grady. They got a run, make it an 8-0 lead. Weidman's got a 3-hit day, 2 RBIs. Boy, not hit hard, but just well placed by Weidman, who was protecting in a 2-strike situation.
Just sneaks it through. No hesitation to send Vasquez from second base. You're getting dangerously close to run rule territory now.
In tight to Lizama.
It's the type of at-bats that you're having. Every single pitch has been high stress, it feels like,
Yeah.
for this pitching staff, and it wears on you.
Sky to right, shallow towards foul ground. It's going to blow it out. Wind just carries it. Have not lost a series all season long. You've had a chance to sweep 2 conference series that you didn't. Lost on Sunday to Middle Tennessee. Lost on Sunday to New Mexico State. All of a sudden, you blink and you're looking at, hey, this team could be 4-4 at 500 in conference. Fouled away by Lizama.
And then, you know, obviously start thinking ahead of where's the RPI going to end up. And, I mean, you're already in the 30s, which you're normally a little further along at this point in the season. It makes things a little uncomfortable this time of the year. Going to have quite a bit of work to still do.
That one smoked into right. Going to hold up Berrigan at third. But that is 15 hits today against Ellwanger and Watt. And we're in the 6th. Dan Hefner is going to take the ball here from Liam Watt. That'll be the last pitch he throws. 8-0, and you're looking at that 10th run standing at second base. And you're hoping you're not thinking about a 10-run rule, but well, you're dangerously close to it. So here comes Branson down 8-0, bases loaded when we come back to Dallas.
Still in the top of the 6th inning. It has been all Western Kentucky. They're up 8-0 with the bases loaded, and they have chased Liam Watt from the ball game. As Liam goes 2 1/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, leaves with the bases juiced, and he turns it over to Ashton Branson.
Transfer from Crowder College. Branson at 6.43 ERA. We had such a good start to this season. He's wobbled here recently. Fastball's got some good ride to it. And for Branson, look at his arsenal. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Fastball, changeup, probably his best pitches. The last 2 outings, though, he's getting up 7 runs in 4 1/3. You're calling on him now to extinguish a simmering fire. I don't even say it's blazing right now. It's 8-0. And the bases are loaded, and there's 1 out for Camden Ross. So it has just gotten away from DBU today. I got to go back to what you talked about. You know, dropped a 1-run game yesterday. You kind of come back to the ballpark, and it's try to even this series up. And from the top of the first, it has been all Western Kentucky. Kind of got punched in the mouth, and there's just not been that fight that we're accustomed to seeing.
That's the thing that's been more disappointing is the way Western Kentucky's playing, the energy they're playing with. And obviously when you're hitting and you're up 8 runs, it's easy to have that energy. But they had it all throughout the game yesterday as well, and it just, Patriots, for whatever reason, just have not been able to punch back today. It's been very strange.
Oh my. Well, that'll get a run in. 9-0, 1 pitch. Camden Ross is hit by a pitch. My goodness. Still just 1 out. That is probably the worst way he could have started this sequence here with Branson on the mound. So they're still loaded, 1 out. Joe Ciervo, 7th batter of the inning. That has been another, troublesome sign here. 44 hit batters on the season. We've just slipped over the halfway point of the year. 44 hit batters. The wild pitches today, 40 wild pitches. And there's ball 1.
It's been baffling at times, and there's been a handful of games this year where that's happened. I think a UTRGV, LSU, a little bit of that as well.
That came inside, 2-0.
Now you've been so erratic that sometimes you're not going to get those calls Close calls. Got pinch hitter Caleb Marmo's up.
Marmo was the guy that got Ryan Johnson last year in Game 1. A home run in that 4-1 win. Talk about a team that's just kind of had DBU's number since last year. This is them.
Yeah, Patriots did get him in the conference tournament, but that series in Bowling Green, that was not fun.
Big swing and a miss by Marmo. Guy that's really just come off the bench this year. He started 7 games. Last year he started 26. He's been well-traveled. He started his college career at Wake Forest, redshirted, then was at Walters State Community College for a couple of seasons. Swing and a miss. Curveball from Branson, and so 2 out for Kyle Hayes.
Yeah, went off speed, and I'll see it one more time. I think actually it might have been the change, and I think that might have been what it was, that fading action. And fastball and the change can be a dominant sequence for him.
So 2 down for Hayes. It's been such a tough out this week, and doubled back in the 3rd. Eighth batter of this inning. It all started with Henry Brown striking out, but then you had the bunt single by Vasquez, and that just kick-started this offense.
5 in a row reached since then. And you had the strikeout, but these innings, it's just been that constant pressure. 5 out of 6 innings, they've put at least a run on the board.
Did he get a pitch clock violation, or was that a balk?
I think it's a balk.
It is a balk. My goodness. Yep, and first base umpire Juan Garza is explaining to Ashton Branson exactly what he did. Branson looks baffled. So he's hit a batter that got a run in, and now a balk.
And based on what Juan Garza is saying, it looks like he came together and then pulled the arm out. It had to happen before that. I think they're saying that he came apart in the glove whenever he wasn't supposed to.
Next pitch, buried. 3-0, so you've put yourself in a 10-run deficit now in the 6th. Hilltoppers are going to need 6 outs. They can get out of here with a run rule victory. 3-1 to Hayes.
And if they're able to do that, and it looks like it's still going to be Dawson Hall. There is a lefty throwing in the bullpen, but save that pen for a game tomorrow. If you weren't in the driver's seat, you firmly are now.
That is gobbled up by Hefner, but a run scores. He does keep it in the infield, does keep 2 runs from coming in, but make it 11-0. Hayes, another RBI. 9th hitter of this inning, Reed Howard. Well, this will jump off the page when you look at the top 25 scores today.
Just trying to, we were even talking about it. It's happened, but doesn't happen very often, if ever, at home.
Yeah, we'll have to do some digging. Last time DBU was run ruled at home.
For some reason, I remember a game against Tech, I think, in 2013, but that's...
I could be wrong. Does Evansville come to mind? There was a game that just kind of got out of hand, and maybe that was on the road. I try to forget some of those those games. That's on the outside corner. I know they did it in the conference tournament, but I'm trying to think back. Just remember Mark Schallenberg and the little dances coming around 3rd. I don't know. I've got Mason Mears on it.
He's got to still be there, right? Like he's probably in his 12th year.
Well, the new rules in college.
As a junior,
we'll see him for another couple years. Check swing, and Juan Garza mercifully says, "Yes, Reed Howard, you win." 4 runs in the 6th for the Hilltoppers. has made it 11-0. Western Kentucky going to the bottom of the 6th. Bottom of the 6th, and what has been the Dawson Hall show this afternoon. Nothing flashy necessarily about Hall. He's only struck out with 2 today, but it has been a whole lot of this. Pitch to contact. It's been a heavy dose of the changeup and some good defense behind.
And 57 pitches through 5 shows how efficient. Only one batter, actually 2 batters have gotten to 2 strikes. No one, or 2 balls, I should say. No one's gotten to a 3-ball count against him. And it has been extremely impressive what he's been able to do on the mound for Western Kentucky. Trying that unfortunate research project we're on. Maybe you're thinking of the 2014 game, Evansville. Yeah. So DBU ended up losing that 13-1, but if I'm not mistaken, that was Kyle Freeland on the mound in game 1 for Evansville, who turned into a big league.
He sure did. There's a swing and a miss by Grant Jay. In 14, that had to have been Cy Snead maybe on the mound on that Friday night. Jay deep down the line and left. That'll hook foul. Would have been Snead. Would have been 2 big leaguers that night. Maybe am I?
Well, so I was wrong because it wasn't Freeland unless I'm looking at the wrong game. He was there in 2014, wasn't he?
I believe you're right. Yeah. Jay to right field.
13-1 in 8 innings. At least the last one we can remember. And if you're looking that up in the middle of a game, things have not gone well.
It's really spiraled on you. And you have to dig that far back because this team has just been dominant at home. As good as any team in college baseball. They have the 10th highest home win percentage in the country since Horner Ballpark's first season back in 2013. So that's a pretty good sample size. You're talking about 12 years of baseball. You're 10th in the country in home win percentage. And today you're just kind of getting it handed to you. It happens. But
what I also think for Western Kentucky,
there's a base hit.
I think they've heard a lot about DBU and even La Tech ahead of them. And we even had the question, their record is gaudy, but is it fool's gold? Like you look at the schedule, but and with the arms they have, with the bats they have, they're proving it is 100% legit and an extremely scary team down the stretch.
Yeah, it's real. No doubt about it. Base hit to right, Humphreys coming up. Well, there's so many guys on this team for Western Kentucky that you can point to that have helped lead to this 26-4 record. You're seeing a guy today on the mound at Hall. We've talked a lot about Ryan Weidman. We kind of profiled him yesterday. Another guy who has played a key part is their right fielder, Ethan Lozama. And for more on his fascinating story, I want to send it back over to Alexis.
Yeah, he has a really cool story. He was born and raised on a small island in Guam where he grew up playing baseball and even represented Guam on all-star teams in China and the Philippines. But as he got older, he really started to realize he accomplished all he could on the island and saw there's not much more for him to do, especially for him to be seen. And that's when he started the conversation with his parents about coming to the States. And although it took a few years of convincing, he ended up moving to California at 16, but without his family to finish out high school, where he lettered not only in baseball, but basketball, football, soccer, and volleyball. After high school, he played at the Gulf Coast State College for 2 seasons, where he said everything about that place helped him and made him who he is today. Now, in his second year with Western Kentucky, he was recruited by Rob Fournier, and even though he didn't know much about the school prior to the recruiting process, he said it felt like it was the right choice because Rob kept in contact with him throughout his sophomore season, and it just really showed him that the coaching staff cared about him. And he said he's definitely gotten better since being at WKU, and that's something he's just really grateful for.
It is really an intriguing story. You see him right there. You can tell when you watch Lozama just how much joy he has playing the game of baseball.
I actually just want to know, how did Alexis convince our guys to hit to right field and give it to Lozama twice as she's talking about Lozama?
What a setup. It's all about timing.
You couldn't have scripted that any better.
You know, we
they're talking about him.
Talking to our producer, Kurt Dykert, in between innings. Say, hey, let's set this up. We'll come back. Good package on Dawson Hall right here. He's pitching to contact. We get through that, and then, he pitched to a little more contact. One fly ball to right center. You get Lozama in the picture. It sets it up. And then Alexis takes it, fly ball to right. That is great producing by our crew.
Like, you can't teach that if you're Kurt, right? That's just an inherent skill that you just got to bottle that up.
2 out for Landon Underhill. Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
We'll start talking about home runs and see if that changes things here.
How would it be a great time, Landon Underhill, to run into one right here, get his first home run as a Patriot. Dawson Hall's got something different in mind as here comes his 1-2. Nice play at first by Hayes, and we'll head to the 7th. Down 11 runs. Hilltoppers are going to need just 3 outs. They're trying to tack on to an 11-run lead here in game 2.
On our way to the 7th, not a lot for the Patriots to celebrate so far today. They're down 11-0 as Western Kentucky trying to take the series. We'll have the series finale tomorrow. Dollar Hot Dog Day here at Horner Ballpark. So come on out at 1:05 first pitch to see the finale between these two teams, because Patriots will then hit the road for the next 5. Okay, we'll take on Oklahoma at Eldell Mitchell Park on Tuesday, before they end up hitting the road once again and continuing conference play next weekend as they travel to Jacksonville, Alabama to take on Jacksonville State. Now, new pitcher on the mound for the Patriots as Ashton Branson goes 2/3 of an inning. Allowed a couple of inherited runs. Those both go to Liam Watt, who ends up with an ugly stat line of 6 runs in 2 1/3. And it's Athen Kroll who gets the nod out of the bullpen. I saw him for a couple of batters against New Mexico State last weekend as the freshman out of Brighton, Colorado, will come in to pitch with the Patriots down by 11. And it is Henry Brown who will lead things off. Western Kentucky, 3 in the first inning, a single run in the second and the third, were shut out in the 4th, but then 2 in the 5th, 4 in the 6th to this 11-0 lead, and they're 3 outs away from a run rule victory as their strike 1 to Henry Brown. Kroll out of Valor Christian High School, making his 6th appearance of the season, and he fires there for a strike. 0-2. He's got the fastball. He's got some giddy up to it, the curveball, the slider, the changeup. He's got Henry Brown, who is 1 for 3 at 0-2. Good-looking slider just off the plate. It's been a smaller crowd first 2 games. Weather has a lot to do with that. Maybe the play on the field today is leading to what's an empty ballpark right now. That's called a ball. The DBU dugout is adamantly arguing that ball was tipped.
They're gonna Duplessis is they can ask for some help, maybe.
Well, let's see a look here. It's going to be really hard to tell.
He's going to bring down third base umpire Connor Hoagland, who's the crew chief.
It's impossible to tell, even when it's slowed down. That's something you have to almost hear in real time. Cliff Pennington was almost halfway between home and the dugout, arguing that should have been strike 3. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Check swing. He went around this time as Kroll is able to finish the job. So he gets the strikeout on the breaking ball. And Athen Kroll has got his 2nd strikeout of his career. Here's Carlos Vasquez. That comes in at 78. That would tell you maybe the curveball from Kroll. Well, here's Carlos Vasquez. He's been on a couple of times today. He had a bunt single his last time up. As Kroll tries to start him with the curve. The top 5 in this order has caused all sorts of problems for the Patriots today. As Vasquez fouls this one off the other way. 12 of the 16 hits have come from the top 4 in this order. Actually, the top 5 in this order. Up and in, 2-1. 3-hit day from Weidman, 3-hit day from Ross. Everybody's reached with the exception of Reed Howard. Swing and a miss.
I know you're down 11-0, but still, with a freshman right here in Kroll, it's an important inning for him. This guy's really got some, electric stuff with the fastball. He'll run it up there. So this is not an insignificant inning for him.
On the curve, he gets the ground ball to short. Low throw, stretch made there by Chayton Krause, and 2 up, 2 down here in the 7th inning.
I think Avery Duncan has made a jump as a freshman. This is another one that you would love to see make that jump. His stuff has got a chance to be big time. So anytime you can get him on the mound and he has a solid inning is a plus.
Number 3 rated right-handed pitcher out of Colorado, coming out of high school. His first pitch to Drew Berrigan. High for ball 1. Berrigan came in as a pinch hitter for Thomas Marsala in the 6th. He singled and eventually came around to score. And he hits this one off the end of the bat, and he's going to drop that one in perfectly in front of Nathan Humphreys. So off the bench, a 2-hit day for Berrigan. And with 2 outs, we will see Ryan Weidman again. Weidman's got a 3-hit day. He's been on all 4 times. A double, 2 singles, a walk, 2 RBIs, 3 runs scored for the junior out of Marietta, Georgia. D1 Baseball said he was the number 4 JUCO transfer in the country. There's a wild pitch. Grant takes a while to locate it, and I think Berrigan thought momentarily about trying to go to third base. Yeah, but Weidman, seen as the number 4 JUCO transfer, the number 74 prospect in Division I college baseball. Came in this weekend, 7th in the nation in average, 3rd in the nation in hits. Haven't seen him on the base paths a ton. As he grounds this one to third. DeTalo's got it, and that'll end the inning. So a good 7th inning there from Athen Kroll as he pitches around a 2-out single. We are going to the bottom of the 7th. If we're going to continue, Patriots need at least 2 here in Dallas.
Well, back to Dallas. Pitching change for the Hilltoppers. Dawson Hall today. Such a big part of the storyline as he goes 6 innings. And he only threw 71 pitches. 56 of those were strikes. 6 shutout innings. Gave up 6 hits. He did not walk a batter. He did not throw a wild pitch. He struck out 2, and he just flat out pitched today. He was outstanding on the hill. Zach Lyles is the new reliever for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, left-hander out of the bullpen in Zach Lyles. He's out of Fairmont, Georgia in his sophomore season. 6'2", 220 pounds, and he is making his 12th appearance of the year. 1-0 with a 2.41 ERA. He's struck out 22 batters in 18 2/3. He's only walked 5 and allowed just 5 runs. Opponents hitting just .203 against the lefty in Zach Lyles. He's got a fastball that'll top out in the low 90s, a cutter, a slider, as well as a changeup. And he will try to put the finishing touches on this one. If the Patriots cannot get 2 runs, they will be run ruled. So there's the numbers for Lyles. You can see how impressive he's been. A whip below 1. He's coming off an appearance against Vanderbilt on Tuesday. He gave up a run in an inning of work. And he will face the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9 for DBU, down 11-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. So Lyles, the 6'2 sophomore. First pitch is in there for strike 1. Got 2 finals, 2 extra inning finals to tell you about in Conference USA today. As Grady will send this one weakly in the air to right. Going to be a long run for Lizama, but he is there and he makes the catch, and there's one down. Well, Liberty's taken the series against Middle Tennessee. They win 5-4, their second walk-off of the weekend. It was a walk-off home run yesterday. It was Sebastian Mexico who hit it. And they win today 5-4. We'll see how they did that. So here's Cody Graybeck. Graybeck 1 for 2 with the bunt. And in the 10th inning, it was another walk-off home run. Now, how about this? You had Mexico who won it yesterday. Christmas won it today. Unbelievable. Trying to remember the first name there of
who wins it tomorrow.
Christmas, yeah. It sounds like I'm making it up, but no, Sebastian Mexico and S. Christmas today with the walk-off. There's a bloop into right center and a 2-hit day for Cody Graybeck. Seth Christmas, that's who it is. I looked it up. A couple of hits for Graybeck, the bunt single. The bloop single here, and Jake Bennett's going to pinch hit. We've got some great jokes in our headset from our producer. I don't think I want to go to air because I don't want to take credit for them. The Father Christmas joke. When it's 11-0, yeah, you get those and you laugh about them. Here's Jake Bennett, takes strike one. We'll go ahead and give Kurt credit, but he said, you know who Seth's dad is, right? Well, who's that? Father Christmas. Thank you, Kurt.
Just got to start piping him in every once in a while,
we
you
need
know?
to. Every now and then he'll check levels and he'll kind of run through the pregame himself. I mean, just give you a headset. Let you do it. We can have a role reversal. I'll go out there and run a camera. You can produce. Yeah, it'll be terrible. 1-1 to Bennett off the bench for the second straight game. Now 2-1. Bennett had a big at-bat yesterday. He was the first batter that Cal Higgins faced. Bennett in the 8th inning as the go-ahead run. Higgins able to get him. Hits this one out to second. It is scooped up, and it could be a double play. 4-6-3. There it is. A twin killing, and the ball game is over. Western Kentucky with a dominating performance here in Dallas. They win it 11-0, and they have taken the series, making a statement here this weekend at Horner Ballpark. We will wrap this up, come back, put the finishing touches on this one. Western Kentucky wins it 11-0.
Won the series. They run rule DBU here at Horner Ballpark, something that hadn't been done since the 2014 season. 11-0, the final today in 7 innings. Look at the game summary, and you can see the dominance today. All started Dawson Hill, what he did on the mound. Big day again from Ryan Weidman at the plate. Kind of everybody got into the X. 17 hits today from Western Kentucky, and they've got a lot to be excited about as they've won that series and they got a chance to sweep tomorrow. Reagan Ratcliffe, Brendan Smith back with you. A tough one, yes. You know, after you fall 4-3 yesterday, a one-run ball game, and kind of excited to get back to the ballpark today. This was all Western Kentucky right from the start.
Yeah, and it was super impressive. They set the tone immediately with the 3 runs in the first inning, and then you just could not get to Dawson Hall. And so dominant in the strike zone constantly, only the 2 strikeouts. I mean, he could have pitched 15 innings the way that he was going tonight, but his offense, it was just that steady attack. And we talked about it in game. There was never an inning where you felt like there wasn't pressure that was put on you. It was just that constant drip from Western Kentucky, who, like we said, they came out here and they've made a statement.
Yeah, they have. They've won both games of the series now, 27-4 on the season. They got a chance to sweep tomorrow. Ryan Borberg goes to the mound tomorrow for DBU. Hopefully a chance to salvage something.
Yeah, and Borberg needs to be the guy he was after the first inning last week, because he was really good after giving up the runs in the first last week. And so for what you want tomorrow is just to have a little bit more fight. You didn't feel like that fight was there. Western Kentucky brought all of the energy, and right now they're well-earned celebration as they've come out and put 15 runs on the board in 2 games against the Patriots.
Series finale tomorrow from Horner Ballpark. We'll be on the air around 1 o'clock, 1:05 first pitch, DBU and Western Kentucky. So for Alexis De La Garza, my broadcast partner Brendan Smith, as well as our entire crew, I'm Reagan Ratcliffe saying good night and God bless from Dallas, Texas. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.